screen tilted. Hey. Oh, this is okay. Let me see if I apologize in advance if you guys are watching this on a desktop. How's everything going? Your boy out here chilling in the great outdoors as usual. Talking about the merge today. I'm gonna ease into it. I got a couple topics about the merge I want to kind of go over. But generally, any questions you guys have, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you're watching this after the fact, just gonna talk about the merge and anything related to it. Let me see here if I can see the chat real quick. You guys have, feel free to leave them in the comments. Oh, what do I hear myself? Dylan, what's good, dude? Just gonna talk about the merge and anything related to it. Wait, hold on. Why is? Let me see here if I can see the chat real quick. Wait, can you hear me? Okay, I can hear myself in the background. YouTube bugging out, dude. How we doing, bro? So yeah, I'm out here today just kind of perusing the forest, thinking about stuff. Haven't been out here in a while, actually. Just kind of contemplating things. Half of that being crypto related, of course, obviously. And yeah, just really thinking about the upcoming, the upcoming future for Ethereum specifically. So there's a couple things. So, just to give you guys a quick overview of what I wanted to speak about today. It was the merge from a technical level, from a public perception level, from a competitor level, other L1s, for example. And a couple other things, like the price of ETH and all that other stuff. Yes, I'm going to DevCon, by the way. Dylan. Yes, I definitely am. Any lesser known facts about how the merge will affect layer 2s? Exactly. So that's actually what I was gonna be one of the topics I speak about. I might as well just start it off with that, right? So just as a gloss, a brief overview, glossing over of the merge. It's supposed to be happening September. I think it's between the 15th and the 20th, right? And the main thing is that obviously it's the beacon chain essentially merging with the main Ethereum chain, which is pretty much the execution layer merging with the consensus layer. But the main thing here is to know really is that, and I think it's definitely a part of the reason why the merge is even happening, I think. And this is more from a public perception level, but the amount of energy consumption that Ethereum takes or consumes is going to be around 99% less than what it currently does. I think on the website it's 99.95%. So the people on the Reddit forums complaining about Ethereum killing the planet should be hopefully brought to an end soon. Hopefully soon. Oh really? It's the 13th to the 14th? Oh boy, what's going on, Ryo? Yeah, it's crazy. Nonetheless, it's merging the two chains, the execution layer and the consensus layer. In terms of what essentially the merge is going to bring, when it compares to layer 2s, frankly, it's not really going to be much of a huge impact. You're going to see, if you're using an Arbitrum, if you're using an Optimism or any of the layer 2, you're really not going to see much of an impact at all, as far as I'm concerned. The impact is really going to be more seen post-merge with dank sharding and some of those EIPs that are supposed to upgrade Ethereum kind of further along. It's more or less sharding is what's really going to have the big impact on layer 2s. Once sharding happens, it should decrease the cost of posting call data from layer 2s to layer 1s by a lot. And frankly, right now, I don't know about Optimism, but for Arbitrum, a lot of the fee cost comes from posting call data on Ethereum. So that is definitely going to decrease quite a bit once sharding and all that stuff happens. And then even before that, again, so some of the EIPs, should kind of help affect that. But yeah, so from a tech level, it's just going to be very interesting to kind of see how it goes. You put it into perspective. This is literally the biggest upgrade or whatever Ethereum or even the entire crypto industry is ever going to witness. This is huge. I was just kind of going through the website real quick, the Ethereum.org website, just to read up on some of the FAQ. And I shit you not, what was that? I forgot what I was going to say. I was just reading through the FAQ, and it was essentially saying something along the lines of like, yeah, I can't believe I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh man, it's pretty much just going to be the biggest technical upgrade essentially that's like ever going to happen. Oh yeah, no, now I remember that the upgrade's gonna happen with no downtime, zero downtime. So like all this time they've been practicing the upgrades on test nets and stuff like that. They've been doing actually apparently the same, where it's just like a clean kind of like, it's a clean merge. It's kind of crazy. It's like if you have like two highways kind of just merging together, seamless. Which is a really, really cool technical feat, you know, like you know, like obviously, like, you know, speaking from like what I've seen on the dev team here at Arbitrum, they like when we had the Nitro upgrade a couple of days ago, obviously, like, you know, the network itself had to have some downtime so we could like migrate everything over from the classic stack to the Nitro stack, and even just like seeing them kind of coordinate that was just like, it was really cool. And you know, our team had practiced it many times already, so it was actually a pretty clean kind of merge migration there. But even then, like, it wasn't like a live chain migration, which, and mind you, Ethereum is obviously like the biggest chain by far, right? Over, you know, like literally all of DeFi, like more than half of all of DeFi is locked on Ethereum, and the plan is to do it like literally like it's like clean sweep, like merging. It's pretty crazy to me, zero downtime. So I don't know. I think from a technical perspective, it's just so interesting. Again, something I'll never be able to understand, frankly. But we'll see how it goes, really. ESP, what do you think about Cosmo and Osmo? Cosmo and Osmo. So Cosmo and Osmo, at least how it relates. So, I mean, I'll give you my thoughts, like high level. So the Cosmos ecosystem generally, it's funny, I actually just watched a video about it the other day from Coin Bureau. I don't know how helpful that is, but I'll be honest with you. I think if you're competing against Ethereum, whether it's a Cosmos or anything else, you're really gonna have like a tough time to, you know, like put up a fight, I guess I should say, or like attract people. Cosmos ecosystem actually by far, from what I've seen, personally, has definitely had the most kind of like I feel like it has the most how do you say it? I want to say like it's like the second biggest community to Ethereum, but I want to say so. And I don't even want to say community. I want to say it's more so like from like a tech level. It seems like the Cosmos ecosystem is like really been able to like sustain itself and like hold itself. Granted, from my understanding, it's, you know, almost all the chains on the Cosmos ecosystem are centralized. So I guess, you know, you know, how hard. I mean, I definitely don't want to say how hard that can that be, because, you know, I don't know how to run a chain. But I don't know. I mean, and then Osmos generally, like, the only reason I know about Osmos is actually Osmosis Zone, I guess, is only because like John Patton is like growth over there, I think, and like obviously he's like kind of helps start like the treasure and small kind of smallverse stuff over here on Arbitrum. And even I've heard them talk about having their own chain at some point. But to give you my idea generally, like ESP is that like, by the way, thank you for stopping by, of course. Is that like, the thing is that I said this on a Spaces actually the other day. I truly like you're building a block, you're building an application or a project for a reason, right? And especially on crypto, on a blockchain. To me, like, part of the point of being on a blockchain and building a project is to be interoperable with other projects, you know? I know at some point apparently, or actually, I do think actually now with the way I guess IBC works and how the Cosmos ecosystem works, is you can have multiple chains and have them interact with each other, I guess. I'm honestly not even too sure, but even then you lose the security of your app while doing so in the process, and in a way you still are isolating yourself to like your own chain, you know, like, because I know Cosmos is bigger than their app chains, right? So to me, like, the whole idea of app chains to me is kind of stupid. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but, and feel free to, by the way, argue against these are just my opinions, by the way, right? I can totally be switched over, but to me, like, part of the reason of being a part of a crypto ecosystem and building a project, a crypto project, is to be interoperable with other projects and have them be interoperable with you in a permissionless way, right? Someone asked me that on the Spaces the other day, and I kind of just came up with that answer. But I feel like that's true, right? I mean, like even like you know what I mean? Like in a way, I feel like apps that talk about having their own chain, their own app chain, it's just like so, I don't know. It's just like it's them thinking way too short term, you know? Like apps, like there are certain apps and like certain projects that like get like a ton of short term success, a couple months time, and then all of a sudden they think they're big enough to be on their own chain because they don't want to share gas fees or something, or like rent with other projects. And I'm like, that's not the way you live in a society, bro. A society I compare a lot of this stuff, by the way, to like, you know, real life and how humans think generally, because that you know, essentially it is just humans on computers, right? But it's true, like, you know, you essentially want to make like a closed society with you and your participants, making it even harder to onboard new users from different projects and communities, and just looking like pretentious in the, you know, in the meantime, you know what I mean? Like not wanting to pay rent or not wanting to pay gas fees to a chain. It's like, what? That's the point. You pay it for the security. That's the point. You know, it's not paying rent. Oh man, I don't know. This is my take. Mario, as centralized as everyone accessing mainnet via Infura or Alchemy. That's a good point. No, listen, Mario, that's a good point. That's a great point. By the way, I don't know why the chat keeps on just disappearing for me. So if I get to your comment late, I apologize. But no, that's a good point. Listen, bro, a lot of people use Infura, a lot of people use Alchemy, so that's definitely a huge dependency that people have, you know, when using Ethereum or, frankly, almost any other blockchain, to be honest with you. But again, I mean, like, it's a little bit different, though, because it's like, again, most apps do rely on, like, these centralized services to, like, do these things, right? And I will say, I think with sharding, is it with sharding? I think it's with sharding, actually. You should be able to actually run a node or be able to run like a node actually a lot using a lot less demanding software or hardware. And again, I was reading that on the Ethereum website actually just now, where like the goal, and I don't know how true this is, but by the time sharding happens, you should be able to more or less run a node on your phone, for example, which is crazy to me, right? That's insane. I definitely don't run my own node. You know, I you know, again, I'm not perfect, so feel free to, you know, put me in a place if you feel like you need to. But different type of centralization, though. You know what I mean? Like you want to get, yeah, you want to be. I feel like there are like obviously there's levels to decentralization, right? And obviously like certain levels are harder to decentralize than others. Like that node level is really hard to decentralize, right? Because an average person using a DApp is not going to run their own node. They're just not. So yeah, it's an interesting topic, that's for sure. Bees Irish, what do you think about DYDX launching? Oh, what's going on, Bees? It's been a minute. Launching on Cosmos. Oh, don't get me wrong, for scalability. Oh boy, yo, I had a DYDX shirt. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm donating that baby today. I'm sorry, man. They really screwed the pooch on that one. I don't know, but like, especially. Okay, I'm gonna try to stray away from like talking about like the public perception of it, even though I know a lot of people didn't like it at all. You know, the thing is so like, DYDX is a perfect example of them thinking they're like, of them. Dude, there's got to be a word that I'm looking for, but like, you get to a point where like your ego is so big that you feel like you just don't need anyone else to succeed, and that's what DYDX is doing, and that's what people. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel like projects on app chains do. And DYDX is a great example. Literally, as soon as they made that announcement, I don't know if you guys saw, I think they lost like half of their TVL, like almost immediately. No one's going to trust putting their money on a Cosmos chain. You know? I mean, especially not after the Terra debacle, by the way. And I know Terra has nothing to do technically with like the decentralization or security of IBC or the Cosmos ecosystem, but you know what I mean? It's just not a good. The public perception just isn't good. So I think it's a dumb move on them, frankly. Like they were saying, they said they wanted to focus on the best product possible, and if they think they can achieve that, that's perfectly fine, right? I mean, like maybe they'll have a better product to a certain level, more decentralized from like an order book standpoint on Cosmos. I think that was the main thing, decentralize their order book. get any more users than they already did. I don't think. Like, no way. I don't think they're going to get any more capital because no one's going to trust their chain to secure the capital. And they lost, I think, a big part of the ecosystem because of it. So, shout outs to those guys. Dylan, how would you rate the success of Nitro and Nova launches? Dude, Nitro's been insane. Nitro's been like the past couple of days. And by the way, this guy's talking about Arbitrum Nitro specifically. It's dude, like, and I'll be honest, I was very, very impressed with the scale myself. By the way, like if you look at like RBScan or like just the how cheap the transactions are, like it's a great example of like, I think it's a good example of under promising and over delivering. It's definitely possible that maybe we did like hype it up a lot. You know, kudos to me. No problem. People are gonna come cook over here. I'm gonna move over here just in case. But in terms of like how Nitro did and how it's gonna do, I think it's gonna be amazing, especially when like if you watch the Bankless podcast, it's supposed to be like 7x Ethereums apparently in terms of capacity, which is nuts, absolutely insane. And then Nova. So I think Nova. So the launch of Nova, like in my mind, it's obviously it's very needed because, you know, like with all the gaming applications coming to crypto, you need to have a secure one that you can trust to actually run your game on and cheap enough to do it too. But I think it's going to take a little time to get more like adoption on it. I think, you know, because I mean, frankly, right now, like there's no other like alternatives. Maybe like Immutable X is like the other alternative, but like it's never living, right? It's not a generalized blockchain like Nova is. But I would say give it a couple months, and you'll be very surprised with the growth of it. Put it that way. Yeah, be very surprised. I can guarantee you. Alex D, can you touch on the regulatory capture risk? What is this? Can you explain a little bit more? I'm gonna move on while I'm doing that. Beast says, sorry, I've been running around in the cosmos. They listen to the community and stop the proof of life webcam thing. What is that? Yeah, Dylan, it's before sharding. Correct. Damn, tracing the connection's ass? Oh, I'm sorry. Is the connection bad, guys? Should I move? Let me know. If I should move, then just tell me. Tracing the connection's ass. Yeah. But, no, but yeah, no, I think generally, just speaking, I mean, and I guess just to kind of touch a little bit back on the merge again, while I see my questions come through, is that I think it's just going to be really hard to bet against the Ethereum ecosystem moving forward. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not. I'm obviously an Arbitrum Max. Yeah, we're here, so no shit. But I work here for a reason because I truly believe in what we're building here. But it's like, this is. I mean, I'm rooting. When I say like it's going to be hard to compete with the Ethereum ecosystem, I'm including our DYDX webcam idea. Come on, bro. You get treble service. Damn. $25 for you to let them extra. Oh yeah. I heard about the DY. Yeah, I forgot about that. Connection is lagging. Okay. I'm gonna start moving then. Oh man, I apologize, guys. Okay, well, just let me know if it's bad, all right? Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. DYDX. Okay. You know what? Okay. And that's a great point. So I want to give you guys a little context here, right? We recently onboarded CMO. I don't know if he's watching this, but if you are, shouts to you, Andrew. He was the previous global head of entertainment at Amazon. And he's great background in marketing and all that stuff like that you would see in like a Web 2 setting, right? So it amazes me that no one on the DYDX team thought, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe this is a dumb idea. Maybe in a space where people value their security, their privacy, and all that stuff, maybe it's not a good idea. And don't get me wrong, people have the option to do it. They weren't forcing people to do it, right? But it's not really about that. It's more so about the implication of it, right? Like, it's optional now, but who says it won't be in the future? Or stuff like that, you know? Let me see. Oh, nope, wrong one. Let me see, super live chat. Bam. There you go. See, ESP like the woods. It's nice. That's what I'm saying, man. I know I don't... If I'm lagging, then... I don't know, bro. I'm gonna try to fix it. I apologize. But you know what I mean? Like, one thing I will say that I think we have had here at Arbitrum, I guess maybe Ethereum projects generally, I could be wrong, I mean, maybe I'm just overgeneralizing here, but I feel like we have more of a connection with the people that actually want to be using crypto and stuff like that, right? Like, never in a million years would you see, never in a million years would you see us, Arbitrum specifically, asking people to show their to show their faces live on cam for $25. Yeah, look at me, I'm glowing. You know what I mean? Like, I show my face here, right? But that's only because, I signed up for this stuff. But damn, dude, that was a real L on their part. That really was. Better? All right, let me know if this is better. Then I'll just stay around here. I think it's even worse. Oh boy. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that was a horrible move on their part. I mean, they stopped it for a reason, right? But then what about the other one? What do you guys know about that WorldCoin thing? Like, where it's like they scan your retina and they keep the hash of it or something like that in like their system. Even that is like too much, I think I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Alex D says, build all the tech you want. If the government gets in and claims the whole stack, then it's for nothing. Can't recover the chain once you go proof of stake, and the stake gets captured. Oh, I see. Interesting. But you think so? For example, you're saying like the government just goes ahead and like buys up like the entirety of like the ETH market. We're screwed. You're saying? Imagine the government did that. You know what's funny? If I'll be honest with you, dude. If the government ever wanted to take down the chain, obviously the sooner the better, right? But I feel like as soon as the merge happens, like, yeah, Alex, like you were saying, like if they just went ahead and just went to their budget department and said, yo, if we want to have a fighting chance in making sure that people don't have any power, we gotta buy out everyone's ETH. Tell me you wouldn't sell, man. They'd probably be offering the high for it. Mario, does the disinterest in app chains carry over to app-specific rollups? I fear high usage general purpose rollups could see the same as a mainnet as every compute such state. That's a good point. No, I think you know what it is though. It really depends. Like on chains like Arbitrum One, I don't think that's the case. I'll be honest with you. Like there's not going to be enough economic activity. I don't think on one chain specifically for that to be like an issue. You know what I mean? Like. And I guess to a certain extent, it also depends on how much you're willing to pay for a transaction to go through, financially related, right? I think for gaming chains, then yeah, like maybe I could see it. But the thing is that you're gonna have to make the compromise, right? So it's like chain again, like Nova being a great example. While I said already that I think app chains are kind of useless, like from like a community and like onboarding standpoint and all that other stuff. If you want to make a really fast or really efficient game, and that's all you, again, like DYDX wants to do in Cosmos, then like, yeah, you could run your own, for example, like Nova chain or whatever, or any trust chain really, is the technology is what it's called, and you could do it that way. But you're just sacrificing a lot on what the point of a crypto is what I'm saying, I think. Like you're essentially making your own you're making your own like siloed ecosystem, like you're making your own game essentially, just on chain, which again, some people I know want to do that, some people don't care about the community aspect or the permissionless aspect, but like I've been here, I've been here for a while and I really appreciate that stuff, Alex D says ramifications from one maker, one on USD would be very difficult to get off, plus the poor governance choices widely talked about among the ETH community. Pretty simple. If you get the Alex, I feel like, well, hold on, I can't tell it. I will give it to you, Alex, though. In terms of like governance has been a mess up until this point. Like just generally, like on the road right now, I feel like there may be more signal. If I get hit by a car, I guess it's worth the signal. I think I should be good though. I think it looks like I'm good. On-chain governance is going to be the hardest thing to actually like, what do you say, actually make useful. Because frankly, it's like you can't have a governance process that runs essentially on wealth, you know? And honestly, the Uniswap governance thing was like Uniswap governance is the greatest example of it, right? The fact that that one team, or it was like some sort of like DeFi safety organization that no one had ever heard of. They pretty much like bought a shit ton of uni and just voted themselves into getting a grant of more uni on a governance proposal, and it passed. And they got a bunch of uni tokens, right? So stuff like that. I'm glad that it happened, because it's like you need shit like that to happen for people to realize, yo, this shit just doesn't work, right? So I mean, listen, governance in every sense of it just doesn't make any sense until you can like stop. Oh, it works. Oh shit. The fuck? You guys know that Hakuna Matata thing where like they bring up the. I just tried that and it worked. Wow. I apologize for anyone that's still watching, man. Damn. Don't worry, I'm going into town right now, so I should have better connection there. Dude, I'm like on the edge of the road. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people, at least when I was making videos. So I know a lot of you guys that are watching are, definitely into cross-chain stuff. Frankly, before I came to Arbitrum, I was different chains. Like, I remember I made a video on Mirror Protocol. I don't know if you remember that. That was before Terra actually really like ripped. Terra was like literally like maybe like 10 cents per token or something. Luckily I didn't stay too long in there. Alex says, I realize I'm wearing my tinfoil hat with what I wrote earlier, but it looks like you could use one for your reception. Damn. Oh, bro, I know. I'm out here. Do this Wi-Fi network yet that I can use or something? It'll probably be even worse than this, frankly. I'm on T-Mobile right now, bro. But yeah, so I guess, yeah, I mean, I can just continue on the all-one thesis thing. I don't know, don't get me wrong, like, there's definitely going to be multiple chains. It's a multi-chain world, that's obvious. But I'll be honest with you, man, like, I feel like with all the growth that layer 2s are seeing, especially, like, again, the non-incentive, like the fact that, like, for example, Arbitrum's add over, like, I think we're like 2.8 billion TVL or some shit with no incentives, like ecosystem layer incentives. It's just so much more of a bull case to just build your alt, like an alt layer 2 instead of a layer 1. I'll be honest, like, there's just no, like, it's crazy though too, because it's like on my timeline I see so many people like following and like commenting on different layer 1s, and in my head I'm like why? I mean, it's definitely because for the financial opportunity. Don't get me wrong, like that's no question, right? So maybe be early to a new ecosystem that may bring a ton of rewards, but I don't know. I just don't see people looking at other layer 1s now, even ones that are built in the Cosmos ecosystem, and telling themselves, wow, this is a marvel of tech. How do they do it? And it's like, well, you do it by having a couple validators, a couple of miners, and that's it. PZ validators, I guess, because most of these are proof of stake chains. Yeah. I do like your questions, Alex, though. They were really good. But I don't know. So that's my kind of thought process there. It's going to be really hard to just compete with the entirety of the Ethereum ecosystem, pretty much is what I'm saying. Which is, and again, it's in a way, like, this is going to be kind of my thesis from like a price standpoint. No financial advice, but like, put it this way, right? I think the reason why for example, Ethereum, for example, is down so much right now and not really looking like it's recovering right now is just because people are so okay, hold on. So let me just preface. From my understanding, investors generally are risk averse, generally. Especially people with a lot of money. They're very risk averse, right? If you already have a lot of money, there's no reason to start like fucking just pumping it into random things that you think would just explode, right? Because most of those things most of those investments tend to be pretty unstable and risky. I think the same is happening with Ethereum right now because it's going through this transition, this zero downtime merge, essentially. It's going to change the chain forever. They're very risk off, aka they're probably not holding much Ethereum at all. So my thought is that once this merge goes through, assuming it's a success, goes smoothly, no issues, I could personally just see a ton more interest just flow back into Ethereum. And obviously in this case, I mean like the price of it. And as the price goes up, the ecosystem tends to flourish a little bit too. So that's why I'm really bullish on the merge. And don't get me wrong, like I'm sure the merge is kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. So I'm not saying you should buy ETH when the merge happens, but I just think companies, investors, and all that stuff will feel a lot more comfortable investing into ETH when it's A, economically friendly, and B, environmentally friendly, and B, it goes smoothly, pretty much, the merge. Because, like, don't get me, don't get me wrong, like, I get it, like, we're all waiting on this merge, and in a way, like, I feel like to me, it's a given that it's going to go well, but you never know, you know? I think on, like, the past testnet merges, when they tried this out already on the past testnets, there was, like, the only issues that came about, I think, were, like, validator percentage issues, like, where it's, like, people just weren't, like, upgrading their hardware in time for it, and because of that, the network, I guess, was, I don't know, maybe a little wonky. Is that the right word? I don't know. So, yeah, good boy. We'll see. I think so. There's that from that perspective. You then have the merge from a decentralization perspective, and I know I touched on it earlier a little bit, but like it's true. Part of what the merge should bring is the ability to the merge actually. Well, okay. So people are actually arguing right now that the merge actually may make Ethereum more centralized, and I think that's coming from the whole idea that what the fuck? Look at this. What is that? Walkie-talkie? I think that's coming from the whole idea that, like, you have all these companies that are essentially just going to be running their own node services and, like, running node services and offering them to users. And so in that case, users, instead of running their own nodes, because A, it's complicated, and B, it's expensive, they'll just use a Coinbase, they'll use a Lido, they'll use a Rocket Pool or whatever. And I think mostly it's coming from, like, a exchange standpoint. Well, it was exchange stake their ETH, and in turn, you'll just have a more centralized system instead of decentralized. And I think in the short term, it's possible that may be true. But I think, like, decentralization from, like, a tech level, like, that is hopefully what sharding should really correct, though, right? Because again, if sharding essentially allows people to run their own nodes with a lot less hardware, like I said earlier, then, like, why even bother? I mean, actually, no, that is, well, no. In that case, like, I wouldn't run, for example, I wouldn't run a validator on my phone, but I would be happy with running on like a lesser powered computer that's, like, I just never touch, right? Instead of, like, a high spec'd out gaming computer, for example, now. But I'll be honest with you, for example, I've been helping a friend run their own validator, or validators actually, and they've been able to do it on a Raspberry Pi, like, no issue. I think maybe, like, it overheats sometimes, but, like, that's it, get a fan or something. You know what I mean? Oh boy. Mario, blockchains are adversarial networks by default, so tinfoil hats aren't bad. Alex, the Tornado Cash event says a lot. Big red flag. Yo, that's a good point, dude. I mean, I don't know, like, that Tornado Cash thing was... So my understanding was, and definitely correct me if I'm wrong or if you guys have a differing opinion, but my understanding was that a big part of the issue with the Tornado Cash thing was that there were projects, like, ready to go, essentially, like, I guess, Ethereum-based projects that were like, yo, like, without even being served anything, Oh, I'm good. Okay. I don't know why I was reconnecting over here. It's like the house is weird. I should be good though going forward. Thank you for staying in the chat if you're still here. But yeah, so I'll answer the next ones. But just to close my thoughts on the tornado one, I think that with the tornado cash, the issue there was that, like, yeah, there were just apps ready to go, ready to start blocking people straight up. Like the eagerness to comply was the issue. And I agree to a certain extent. I definitely do. And it's definitely given me a lot more respect for teams that want to remain fully anonymous, fully undoxed, you know? Unfortunately, it is harder for those teams to flourish in environments like this because you just have less trust, right? It's harder for people to put trust in you when you can't see who they're dealing with. But at the same time, it's important that we have people that are willing to expose themselves. When I say that, I mean like docs, not actually expose, and still push the mission of a decentralized and like authoritative future. Like, for example, quick example, by the way, when they imposed the lockdowns in the city, in New York City, there were like a ton of people that said fuck it and just went outside and hung out. I think like the Brooklyn Bridge, and just hung out like around the city in general during that time. And like, I feel like there were a lot of people that were like, yo, like what are these idiots doing? This is a lockdown. But in my mind, I'll be honest with you, bro, like, I'm like, good. Like, shout outs to them, dude. Like, I wouldn't do that shit. But in a way, like, they're doing that for me, bro. Like, they're putting they're risking it, essentially, going out there and saying, like, fuck you to the law. Which I think you're always gonna need some sort of pushback. I'm sorry, bro. Especially like when it comes to governments, like, to me, you need some sort of pushback. You can't have just everyone willing to comply right away. It just doesn't. It's not a good look. Anyways, let's not get too governmental here. Excuse my ignorance, but is that the way Oasis protocol works with sharding? I'm not sure, Bees. To be honest, I'm honestly not too familiar with Oasis. I presume that's a Cosmos ecosystem. Like, so Bees, for example, it sounds like you're like very, very into the Cosmos or alt layer 1 thing. And this question's for everybody in the chat as well as you. What makes you so like willing to explore these alt layer 1s instead of staying on like a layer 2 or exploring layer 2s, for example? Maybe you have explored layer 2s, I don't know. But like, is there anything that brings you towards layer 1s instead of layer 2s? I would love to know. Like, honestly, like, this is not being me being annoying. Like, I'm truly interested in knowing the reasoning. And at the top of my head, it would be like just like financial gain, right? And maybe testing out the tech, right? Just out of interest. But if there's anything else, I'd love to know. Oh boy, we're really on the side of the street now, boys. Yeah. All right, let's see. Private. What's EL and CL client combo for the friend setup? Oh, so the execution for the execution layer, they're using Geth, and for the consensus layer, they're using Prism. And I know what you're gonna tell me. It's like, wow, you're using the most centralized setup. Definitely, 100%. And to me, like, that's kind of the issue. It's like, like you want to be on a network that's more, obviously, you want to contribute to decentralizing a network, but you don't want to like risk your funds, and you feel more comfortable when you're using the same thing that everyone else is using, I don't personally run my own validator. Frankly, I don't even have enough ETH at this point. But I do at some point want to run my own again. And I want to try using one of those different services, I feel like the issue though is just like the Prism team is just Dutch, I guess Prism and Geth, I guess. They've just done such a great job in their clients. Or maybe their clients are just so much better than the other ones that it's hard to convince people to do otherwise, And no, I totally agree. And like, that's definitely a point of centralization there, right? Like centralization from the client level. There should be like a flow chart of like where you can like different like centralization and decentralization levels, like where you can affect that, By the way, sorry if it's too loud over here. I'm like, I'm literally like, well, let me see if I can show you guys. I'm like in the middle of the street over here. Just walking in the middle of the road. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let's see. Let me see what's going on here. All right, live chat. Is it Emerald chain on Ethereum? Way to find the best chain. Enjoy a good looking. Try everything. Oh, Oasis as Emerald. I see. Alex says privacy should be an option to everyone and anyone. I totally agree, dude. It should be a private. It should be an option. That's why, honestly, that's why the tornado cash situation sucks. You know, like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys, bro. And you know, maybe you won't hear this because of the traffic. Maybe it's better that way. But dude, way back when, I used tornado cash a long time ago. That's when I had around like 32 ETH at the time. You know, when ETH was like $200. Um, and I tornadoed that bitch with the intent, you know, to not pay the taxes on it. All right, I'll say it. Um, you know, since then I've obviously changed my mind because you know that was before I was making content, and frankly, you know, it wasn't a lot of money. Um, but still, like, it's like even now, for example, right? Like, I wouldn't even want to use it anymore because of the implication that, like, you know, that I may not be able to use certain exchanges on a certain wallet, and like, but for a person like me, it's probably valuable, dude. Like, my ENS name is pretty public, bfresh.eth. So who knows? Like, maybe there are things I don't want people to know that I'm buying. I mean, I honestly don't care. But it's like, for example, being the fact that I'm a community manager on a chain, it's probably a good idea for me to have a private wallet, more or less. I have a bunch of wallets, frankly, but I don't know. I guess no one really cares right now about it. I've never had someone actually like, reach out to me and be like, "Oh my God, why'd you buy that? Why'd you do this?" Or like expose me or anything. You know? So I guess I'm doing pretty good so far. I mean, maybe I just shouldn't flag it. I don't know. Let's see. Ryo, Small Brains is a blue chip living on Arbitrum. Dude, totally. Totally, bro. Dude, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to talk about Small Brains too much because I don't think too many people on here know or are that familiar with Small Brains. But quick TLDR, Small Brains, definitely the first blue chip project on Arbitrum that ever came out. Floor hit almost like 10 ETH at some point. I think it was around 7. Now they're just chilling around like half an ETH. But they Small Brains hold a special place in my heart, that's for sure. Put it that way. They definitely do. So yeah, when's small meetup? I agree. When is the small meetup? I would love to go to one. What about blueberries and GMX? Oh, blueberries is lit, dude. Dude, you know what's crazy? So like, back when blueberries were minting, like, they were like 0.01 ETH, I think. Was it 0.01 ETH? I think it was 0.0. I think it was 0.01 ETH. They were. I minted like 20 of them. And mind you, this is like their mint stat. They get sat they had the public sale, and literally that mint sat for about like 2 weeks at least. I think a week or 2 weeks. So I went in there and said, "Fuck it." And, you know, honestly, the reason why I did it too is I just wanted to test out to see how much it would cost to mint 20 NFTs on Arbitrum. At the time, I think it was like $5. I was just impressed with it, you know. And mind you, 0.01 ETH for each blueberry. For 20 blueberries, that's only 0.2 ETH. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I mean, why not? You know. I haven't sold any yet, so you know, I'm definitely sitting pretty on those. You said I only did one. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like as a community manager, it's really hard not to be like heavily invested in the ecosystem you're building, right? And I say the term building very loosely, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, what am I building really? Like, nothing necessarily. I'm really just trying to tie things together, you know? There's been a ton of community on Arbitrum for a while because of all these projects that are joining. My job essentially is just to capture that and make sure it's sticky, you know? And people kind of coordinate with each other. Like, different communities kind of speak and talk and stuff like that. You know, so in a way, I'm almost like how do you say that? It's like a conductor, you know? Is that what you call a conductor? What's the person that like a violin, you know, like the music people, like this? And everyone's playing like the violins and stuff. I'm like that guy, you know? A bunch of people already know what they're doing. They already know how to they already know what they like. I'm just introducing them to other people and then hopefully bringing it all together. So, I don't know where that went, but point is that, yeah, there's a lot of different projects on there that I'm extremely bullish on, and it's very hard not to be financially tied to them, is what I'm saying. Dude, can I cross the street without getting hit? I wonder if anyone here knows where I'm at, actually. Yeah. Yo. Okay, here we go. Do you see yourself working at Arbitrum for the next 10 years? Ooh, that's an interesting one, bruh. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys some perspective. I am about, hopefully I can sit over here, actually. This is nice. So I'm about, if it's too loud, let me know. I'm about like 3 years out of college at this point. Graduated in 2019. Been in Arbitrum for about a year. Before that, I did YouTube for, as you guys know, a couple months, almost a year actually. And before that, I did marketing. That was actually right after I graduated. And mind you, I graduated with an engineering degree, mechanical engineering. All that being said, can I see myself at Arbitrum for the next 10 years? Like, totally. I mean, if there's any company I can see myself at for the next 10 years, it's definitely Arbitrum. Like, you guys should know that, like, literally my thought in life is just to be happy doing what I do, and be healthily addicted to it. The healthy part is hard, but the addiction part is definitely there. You know, and it's funny. I was just thinking about this too. Like, to me, like, as long as the values stay there, then you know, I'll still be here too, right? The values of decentralization, growing a community in the most fair way possible, right? And you know, maybe a couple other things, but those two specifically was really big for me. Like, for example, it's like you'll never see Arbitrum come out with their own like swapping platform, right? Like, you'll never see like us build like a decentralized exchange. For what? Like, yeah, maybe it'd be better for UX or people coming on board, but like, you're like completely just trying to, like, you're literally competing with projects on the app layer, which is so dumb. And I know it sounds like an obvious thing, but it's like there are chains that do that, right? Polygon has their own. I know Avalanche built their own wallet. Solana, I mean, it's not even really a question there. So it's like, you know what I mean? As long as the values are there, dude, and as long as, you know, my addiction stays intact, which I can't see why I wouldn't. Yeah, dude, Arbitrum is the way to go for me, I think. Unhealthy, yes. Unhealthy, unfortunately. But yeah, no, Arbitrum is amazing. The people here are awesome. And in a way, that's why dude, like, listen, like, if you've been here for a while, you know, bro, like, I consider myself very, very lucky that I work here, dude. I was literally like the 12th or 13th person on the team, and I was the second non-technical hire, but like behind the current CSO. So it's crazy, dude. Like, the amount of luck that I have is honestly out of this world. I don't know. Maybe that's why my allegiance is so strong. Mario, regarding exploring Alt L1s, I find the developer communities and different tech stacks to be interesting. Layer 2s are dope too, but I just find there's subtle disregard for non-EVM chains in the community. Wait, hold on, let me see that again. Interesting. That's a good point. So I guess, Mario, you're talking about like the fact that a lot of them don't use, I guess, the EVM essentially, and just have their own type of coding language. Oh, that's a nice Tesla. Like Aptos has Move, I guess. Solana has Rust, and so does like, which other one has Rust? Near. That's a good point, actually. And you know, it's funny. Now that you bring it up, like, I've been to a couple hackathons. I've been like 2 actually, so not a couple, 2. One of them was ETH Denver. That was obvious, right? Everyone knows Solidity. They're doing their thing there. And one of them was the blockchain hackathon at Columbia, Lion Hack in the city. And something I noticed there was that, well, there was maybe like a little bit under 100 people. I'd say, yeah, a little bit under 100 people. And dude, like, a lot of the people there were like very specifically there for Near. And I was going around and I was telling people, yo, like, if you're coding in Solidity, which to me it's like a no-brainer, like, obviously they're coding Solidity, it's crypto, right? You know, go ahead and just apply for the Arbitrum grant, because we were providing a hack, like a bounty, I mean. So apply for the bounty, the Arbitrum bounty, right? When you submit your project. And some of them told me, like, I don't know Solidity. Like, I only know Rust. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't realize that was like a thing, you know? Like, so yeah, no, to your point, that's a good point, dude. It's a good point. Like, there are different communities that at the end of the day just prefer different types of tech stacks, I guess. The real killer is going to be, who knows, if like you're able to compile Rust or whatever, pretty much whatever language you're coding in, into EVM. You know, that's going to be a killer if that happens. Remember Titan Pool? Unhealthy. Ryo says, what's your thought on this huge wave of new users Completing the guild tasks in hopes of an airdrop. LMAO. I don't. I'm gonna say here what I said on Twitter, and what I said in the Discord. And it's funny, I've made this abundantly clear, but I think there's just so much noise on the opposing end that it's just not gonna matter what I say, I guess. But I cannot be more clear when I say both the Odyssey and guilds, both of them, especially guild, is just for like cosmetic purposes only. Like if you read like what they're both about, you'll see like that's the intention. There's nothing else behind it. The Odyssey is strictly meant to onboard people into Arbitrum and just get them to use different projects in the ecosystem, right? And obviously, you know, whatever network effects that provides is even better, right? Just get everyone excited to use blockchain again. And Guild was literally just to like, it was just to like give people a little extra thing, like to give people like a little extra flair when they came into the Discord. That was it, you know? It's funny because usually I can pick up on this stuff when like I feel like I might be incentivizing like unnatural usage of stuff. Usually I can pick up on that, but I didn't imagine the guild would be this fucking, you know, sybiled. And it's funny because that happened right through Nitro. And yeah, you know, obviously the chain was fine, right? I mean, it's not that many transactions, but yes, people should definitely understand that it's literally just for like a role in Discord. That's it. Nothing more. That's all. But again, it doesn't matter how much I say it. You know, people will still assume what they want. That's the fun part of being. I'll be honest about being here. About working here is that like I can like more or less. And no, like, to a certain extent, I really do have like a lot of free reign over like the initiatives and stuff that we do. And again, you know, this isn't even an initiative. It's literally just like a thing I added to the Discord. But it's just so funny, bro, because it's like I go to so many Discords and other things, and it's like obvious things that are like Web3 enabled, like that, like Guild, like Project Galaxy or whatever. Layer 3 is a great example too. Like all these different things that exist out there that you can utilize to engage with your community, people just don't use. You know, and that's all I do. Like literally, like I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do more in terms of working here, but like from a creative standpoint, like I just try to leverage what's already out there, and you know, work with them. So it just surprises me sometimes that people don't use that to their advantage. I don't know. Like most Discords, I kind of end up in. A lot of them, especially if they're not NFT related, they're usually like pretty bare bones and pretty boring. Don't get me wrong, like you like, and to a certain extent, maybe it's good because you have like more of an organic community, 100%. But I guess it's just a trade-off, and again, and that's a good point too, because I feel like there was more productive conversation in our Discord before the guild thing. Again, I just didn't know it'd bring that much attention to it. I honestly didn't know. Yeah, I don't know. You know. Oh man, that's crazy. That is insane. We'll see. I definitely couldn't see myself anywhere else though, and I think that's the thing. It's like, don't get me wrong, like to a certain extent, like every layer 2 and every, well, no, definitely every layer 2 currently has a couple of centralization aspects to it currently, right? Validation, sequencing, stuff like that. But to me, like, as long as the end goal of decentralization stays the same and we're working towards it actively, I'm totally happy. I'm totally happy with it, you know? The day that we decide, and I'm sure that it'll never happen, right? But the day that I ever hear we're shifting towards you know, it's the day I ever hear anyone kind of, or any company that I'm at, take the DEX standpoint of like, we just want to make sure we have the best product for our users, you know, it's not gonna happen, you know. Like I can't do it, you know. Like my values, like the thing, that's what people don't get, bro. It's like for you to really be like, for you to really excel at something and be like healthfully addicted, you gotta really like align with what they're doing, right? Like, you know, like you couldn't make me work extra hours at a dental office. I don't know why I thought of a dental office, but like, you know what I mean? Not that would make any sense anyways, but I wouldn't be ecstatic about pulling teeth out of a kid's mouth. Or cleaning them for that matter, right? But like, for example, like anytime I'm doing stuff related to Arbitrum, like yeah, like through the normal hours of the day, I mean, yeah, you know, like I'm doing stuff, like coordinating with people, and like it's a lot of stuff to kind of make sure I'm managing and stuff. But I'm totally fine with like even like throughout the day, just like, you know, even after like the 9 to 5 period or whatever, to going in and like doing specific things. I think that'll kind of help the community, you know, like even yesterday night I was watching a movie, and at the same time I was just like editing stuff in the Discord, you know, because to me it's like, yo, like you got to take ownership of some of this stuff. That's what it is, bro. Like I try to take ownership of like the experience in the Discord. That's why it's annoying sometimes, like when that guild stuff happens. And it's like, dude, like people are just in there, just, you know, just doing stupid stuff. I don't know. My main hope is that like that Discord serves as like a central hub for anything related to Arbitrum, like information or support or anything like that, you know, and community, of course, right? Because that's definitely our biggest community spot. We did just actually get a Telegram and Instagram, so that's interesting. Ryo, do you regret doing the guild roles? You definitely got a lot of new users bridging over to Arbitrum, which is good, I guess. Do I regret it? Oh no, actually, I don't regret it. I definitely don't, actually. While it is annoying in the meantime, so here's a couple things I've noticed, right? A couple of like the non-technical chats, like the general chat and like DeFi, NFT, whatever. Well, DeFi, sorry, the general and like the guild chat specifically, like the channels, they've been like full of spam, right? And you know, it's not even like spam, I would say. It's more just people asking the same stupid questions, like about guild. Is what I mean, you know. Trying to be as nice as possible, right? They're not looking at, in the previous text of the channel. They're just asking the same questions over and over again. So yeah, to that extent, it's annoying. But if you look at like the developer category in our Discord, it's like thriving, completely thriving. And I honestly, I'm not doing anything to facilitate that. That's literally just like us making a category for developers specifically and allowing them to talk to our devs actually in that channel. So to that extent, I'm very happy about that. So in a way, it's like you have like a section, you have like a part that's like really active and like you said, bridging a lot of people over to Arbitrum, right? Because, you know, they think they'll get something one way or another. And then you have this other part that's actually interested in the tech. So I like it, honestly. And in a way, it's a good way to test out Nitro, right? Like you can see how cheap the transactions are. And there's a lot of TPS going on, so I guess I don't regret it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, knowing what I know now, would I do it again? Probably not. Only because, you know, like, I don't want to give anyone a false sense of hope. But whatever. People will do what they do. Bees Irish. When you enjoy what you do, it becomes a part of you, and it's not like working. Yo, that's a fact. And in a way, it's like it's good and it's bad, right? Like that's kind of the issue I think sometimes with crypto, and at least my personality, I definitely have like some form of like ADHD or some shit. So that's one. So it's like I'm the kind of person where like if I get into something, like I'll be into that shit for like an extended period of time. You know, like I'll be like addicted to it until I burn out. And I think being in crypto for so long is definitely not the easiest thing. At least when you're focusing on one thing, you know, it's definitely not. But I think that's why I've liked working here so, you know, thus far for so long, because it's like I'm not doing the same thing every day. You know, like we're getting to a point where we're almost at like 50 people. So like our roles are getting a little bit more defined and a little more like fleshed out. Which to a certain extent, especially now, it's really good, to be honest, because like otherwise I'd be doing way too much stuff. Like I wouldn't have enough time to do anything. I wouldn't have enough time to do everything, I mean. But back in the like a year ago, it was great. Like, cause it was just like I don't know. I feel like a year ago, like literally a year ago, it was before we launched the chain. So there wasn't like much to do at all, actually. And then as the ecosystem grew, like we kind of like found things to do, and like we're able to start scaling like our comms and other things. So like I was always doing something different, which is why like I really like being here. And like to me, like the if you can handle it, if your personality can handle it, and if you can handle it mentally, I think it's so worth joining a startup, especially one that's as good as Arbitrum is. slash was, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Ryo asks, sorry if you answered this a lot. No worries, dude. Ask what you please. How did you even come to work for Arbitrum? Did they reach out or vice versa? Oh no. So literally, guys, I swear. So this is when I was making videos back in May, I think, of last year. I had come to a point, and mind you, this was on my YouTube channel, hit like 8,000, 9,000 people. And you know, your boy I was making videos, and it was really fun actually, you know. But one thing that, and you know, I was able to travel and literally just my own time was my own time. Like I could work whenever I want. I just had to be very obviously adamant about when I scripted, when I edited videos, and when I shot videos, right? But I was pretty good at managing my time. I would say I was actually very good at managing my time, to be honest. The only problem was that the money wasn't there, baby. Your boy was low key, like I was like, look, it was like I keep telling people this, and I'm very positive this is true, but I think it is always. From what I remember, I literally had like 3 to 4K in like credit card debt. By the time May came around of last year, and at that point I'm like, all right. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't broke, I wasn't destitute, right? I mean, I'm living with my parents for Christ's sake. But like, and I had crypto. I had a lot of crypto, so I wasn't broke. I just had no money. I was cash broke. And your boy was owing some money on the credit card. So at that point I realized, bro, like this obviously is not sustainable currently for me. So let me just get a job. So I started applying here and there to different places. And one YouTube channel I'd been watching, and I still watch to this day, is The Daily Gwei by Anthony Sassana. And it's pretty much just a YouTube channel where like every day he does updates on the Ethereum ecosystem, right? And they were very informative. That's how I honestly kept like very up to date with what was going on. Because I was into crypto Twitter, but I wasn't like hugely into it yet, right? So I just remember one day, because I was following him on Twitter, he tweeted out like, yo, like there's this company Arbitrum that's looking for a community manager. And that was the role pretty much I was looking for, right? And I'd heard him mention Arbitrum before in his videos. Like pretty much before that, the only layer 2 I knew about was Optimism. And then at some point he had mentioned Arbitrum, and I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. Like, so I took a look at their website, took a look at like everything else they had in their Discord, and it, you know, to be fair, like the entire team was like engineering at that time, like literally just like tech people. So like they weren't managing any of that stuff. So to me, I'm like, yo, and I'm a person about impact, right? I like seeing visual change. So when I saw their website and like I saw the Discord, I'm like, if I come in here, bro, I know I can have like an immediate like boom, like change and shit like that. So yeah, dude, I just messaged Anthony Sassano after he sent that tweet out about them looking for a community manager. Mind you, he's an angel in Arbitrum. So yeah, I sent that out. So no, I DM'd him and I said, yo, like you know, I'm currently a crypto content creator. I make videos about you know, crypto and Ethereum very specifically, because I was still an ETH maxi at that point, even though I was trying different chains. But I guess he just liked my channel so much that he referred me to the Arbitrum team, which at the time was 12 people, and the rest is history. So yes, I do consider myself very lucky, very lucky. Because mind you, at the time, no one gave a fuck about Arbitrum. Like when I say that, I mean like from like a user standpoint, because no one knew what it was. They hadn't done any marketing, and all that stuff. And this isn't me saying that I changed everything. Definitely not. Like 100% no. Definitely not. It's just me saying that like I was lucky enough to have that foresight and seeing that what Arbitrum was doing was incredible. You know. So yeah. Hopefully that helps. By the way, Ryo says, "Bro, that's me. I'm cash broke." You got crypto, but I'm cash broke. Who wants to sell the crypto, right? Any thoughts generally on how to bridge the gap between plebs and the people who eat, sleep, and breathe this crypto stuff every day? I get frustrated when I hear people who are not only at square one, but also have ideas that are not really factual. Sheesh. That's the tough part, Alex. That's the tough part, bro. Like, and I'll be honest with you, it's an issue with a lot of industries, but with crypto, it's even more of an issue because of how technical in nature this entire space is, and how like technically savvy you have to be to even get started, right? Like, put put it this way, dude. Like, for the most part, you have to be pretty well versed in how to operate a phone and a computer to even interact with crypto related stuff. And I know that sounds obvious, people like you and I, but like most people don't really like care, you know, like it's hard to like break out of this like bubble that like you're in when you're into crypto, when you're on when you've been using a computer all your life. But most people don't care to like know how to use a computer like that well or a phone that well. We've been getting better with it in terms of UI and stuff like that, but even still, the barrier to entry is really hard. And the worst thing is the news and the media. They make this space so much worse from an education level, you know. And honestly, even YouTube channels, right? Like, you know, I'm not gonna say like you know I'm perfectly not to blame here, right? 'Cause, I mean, I made videos where I've stated things that aren't necessarily correct. Like I think I made a video explaining ZK rollups, and I think I claimed that all ZK rollups were like privacy enabled. I guess I just assumed that because, you know, zero knowledge, right? They should work on changing that name though. But I try to preface my videos with saying that, like, you know, anything I say could be wrong, and et cetera, et cetera. Like having accountability over what I say is the key. And the problem is that most people do not have accountability over what they say. You know, like I'm happy to. I would hope that I would hope that you know, if you were to call me out on some shit that I said that is not correct, that I'd have no problem conceding to that, right? So I don't know. It's at multiple levels. You know, it's a technology first industry, which is already is a huge barrier for a lot of people just being technically savvy. Then it definitely does not help that you have media just spinning their own narrative whenever they want, you know. Trust me, I've seen it, dude. I mean, like, great example, and great example literally is like when we did the Odyssey, right? I don't know if any of you participated in the first week or two, but like at some point during week 2, when the Odyssey, the Arbitrum Odyssey specifically, quick TLDR, supposed to be an 8-week campaign where people onboard into Arbitrum and use different protocols to get a free NFT each week, right? The second week was GMX. So you have to go on GMX, open a leverage long, swap it out for something else, and then do something else. I don't know, 3 different tasks. And there was so much demand to do that the chain just like congested, right? It wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't like Ethereum congestion, obviously. But, you know, there was congestion. Like, you know, fees on average were higher than what was comfortable for a lot of projects within the ecosystem. So at that point, we made the decision to stop it and wait until after Nitro. And Nitro's here, by the way. But literally, people just took that as Arbitrum breaking. The chain is breaking. I'm like, dude, the chain did what chain will do when you hit a certain level of traffic, congests. That's how blockchains work. Oh man, but you can't stop people from spinning the narrative, dude. That's the hardest thing to fight in this space, narratives. It's really hard to fight, man. Wow, you've definitely done a good job at managing the Arbitrum community. Good work, man. Congrats. Thank you. Miles, that's awesome. You hit up Sassano for the job. Really following that crypto path, and love your pushback on DYDX. No easy compromises to be had. Yeah, man, that's not. You know what it is, bro? You really have to. I feel like easier said than done. I know, but you really have to like align with a certain path. You know, if you want to be like a crypto native project, if you want to adopt the crypto community essentially, then, you know, like to a certain extent, like you got to bend the knee to like the values there, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I would hope that I would have never thought to reward people $25 for doxing themselves on a crypto-based protocol, right? You know what I mean? I would hope that I would never do that. I don't think I would ever use that as an idea. I don't think I would, right? But the way DYDX is going, like they might as well just admit they're not decentralized. Like they might as well just like concede to the fact that, listen, hey, this, you know, our system is just going to be centralized in an effort to increase short-term, I would say, short-term user acquisition and retainment. That's what I would say. Fuck it. At least you're honest, right? Instead, they're kind of just like, playing around the idea that leaving Ethereum and going to Cosmos is a better idea for their product. Which is, put it this way, bro. Does it matter if your product is the best in the market if no one's going to use it anyways? I mean, come on. Like, you know, I'm sure people would just rather come to Arbitrum and use GMX instead of DYDX at this point, you know? Honestly, that could be why GMX has been exploding so much. I mean, hats off to their team. They've been doing amazing stuff as well, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what DYDX does not get, dude. Like in a way, like leaving Ethereum really, like, I feel like just put like a stake in there, like a stake right in the heart of their product in a way. I don't think they realize that. These Irish. How many systems are truly decentralized? Not many. It's a good point. And again, decentralization is like a spectrum, right? So I guess it's hard to really say what's truly decentralized. No, you know, it really is a good point, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's very easy to grandstand and say that Ethereum is the most decentralized ecosystem when there are a lot of different points of centralization. I will say that, like, I do think Ethereum has like decentralization in the most important aspects. In the most important aspects of a blockchain that a blockchain could, I think, right? That's obviously at a technical level, at a social level. Social level is very important, by the way. Organization level, you know, from like the foundation standpoint, infrastructure level and support level, right? Like, I mean, so many different levels, right? I think it has the best in all those, frankly. I know people would argue that I guess like Solana is like technically more decentralized than Ethereum if you use like the Nakamoto coefficient or some shit. And it's like, yeah, but it's like the chain's going down every other month. It's like, does it matter? You know? I don't know. That's so no, it's definitely a good point though, and that's why it's really worth, like, at least in my mind, it's really worth continuing to 100% have these conversations, especially with you guys, because, you know, I like that not everyone that I speak to is an Ethereum maxi. I like that. Like, you know, it's good to kind of be pushed back to like the neutral standpoint sometimes, you know. Because listen, I mean, I'm definitely biased, right? I mean, obviously I work at Arbitrum maxi, ETH maxi. You know, hopefully at a healthy level. I mean. But I'm still like enormously biased, right? I spend all of my day thinking about this stuff, pretty much. So it's nice to get a different standpoints. You know, and there are definitely different teams out there that like are doing cool things. Like, I think one, I don't know. It's like, I like to see a chart on like the increase, on the adoption levels of Ethereum layer 2s versus Ethereum and layer 2s versus alternative layer 1s. I would love to see that chart and see what other layer 1s are doing to get people to come aboard. Incentives are obviously a big thing, but I mean, probably to what I think my man said earlier. Yo, what's going on, Flash Mac? How we doing, man? Booger? No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, from a tech level, I think. I'll be honest with you, from a tech level, it's hard though, because layer 2s have some pretty dope tech too. Now, from a tech level, I could see why people would be very interested in all layer 1s. I could totally see it. Like, you know, like just different languages and how you can kind of use that with blockchains, I guess. I can see that. Bees Irish says there is, by the way, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. There is an ETH music NFT project that is running a DAO and cooperative simultaneously. What do you think? Both democratic ways of running a business. It's tough, bro. Especially DAOs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really that bullish on DAOs yet. I'm really not. I feel like most of them are just like, well, what I should say is like DAOs from like a for only a social coordination perspective, right? Like last year, During the latter half of last year, I was going to a lot of like DAO meetups and stuff like that. That's when Friends with Benefits was like popping off too, the DAO, and just a bunch of people that just like, again, use the word again, like grandstanding and like kind of just like, I don't know, like they weren't doing anything like that interesting at all. They were just like pretty much having a group of people come by. They're just making a group of people kind of come through every so often, right? And just talking about crypto, which is fine, right? But I mean, like some DAOs you have to pay to get into, and like, I don't know. I just feel like DAO is just like another hot word that people were using. Even to this day, I feel like the idea of like a DAO is still kind of skewed. The one DAO that I was a part of that was pretty cool was Cryptex. I was helping them run their Twitter Spaces at some point, so like I'd get paid every, what I would get paid would be proportionate to what people thought of my work at the end of the month. We used like Coordinate, so like get paid and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. So from a level of like actually, like managing a protocol and sustaining it, I think DAOs are cool, especially if you're using like tooling. Like you have to be using DAO tooling, I think, for it to make sense. If you're not, then like you might as well just have a group of people. Like you don't need a DAO. I mean, you don't need to call it a DAO. The DAO is what stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, right? Very little DAOs, I think, can hold up to that terminology today. I think. But that does sound interesting, though. Mind you, a DAO, like, a company can have, like, there can be a company that coexists with a DAO, right? I mean, I don't know how that would work necessarily, but it could happen, like we can't forget that we still live in a society that like operates a certain way. And I think part of the issues with some DAOs that I've seen is that there's just like a refusal to assign ownership of things, which sounds like wouldn't be the case. But what else going on here? But you know what I mean, like, and then a lack of leadership, that's for sure. Definitely, like I think a lot of DAOs have a lack of leadership. But hopefully that kind of gave my, two thoughts there. What about a cooperative? I'll be honest with you, these, I'm not too sure how a cooperative works. I would imagine it's like a regular company, no? Could be wrong. Excuse my ignorance. Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely don't. Yeah, nah, I don't think so. I think I was like pretty close to like, no, was I gonna do that? I don't think so. I don't know if you remember, but like me and like another content creator, like a friend of mine, we're starting up like this crypto heads movement thing. And I mean, it was a group, really. It wasn't a movement or anything like that. It was just a group. And we were like throwing around the idea of like ever maybe even having a token for that. And I decided, I pretty much told them that I think we shouldn't. Like as soon as you have a token for something, like you really have to be committed to like making sure that token accrues value, even if the intent isn't to provide value via that token, like, even if it is just like a governance thing, it's just like a natural way. It's just like how crypto works, unless you like build into the token that you can't trade it or swap it or anything like that, right? But who the hell wants to do that? Like you want to be able to let go of the token if you don't, if you want to leave the organization or whatever. Yo, I could never do that. Oh, okay. So B says a co-op is a democratic way where the people get the say to what is done and how you are paid by how much you contribute. Yeah, no, I mean, to me that sounds like a fucking DAO. that sounds like what a DAO should be. You know what I mean? Like that truly just sounds like what a DAO should be. Really. I don't know where like type of leadership lands in that. But again, just there has to be some form of hierarchy, or not hierarchy even, but like organization and structure. You need that in any like group or any whenever you're building something, there needs to be structure and organization and like, you know, accountability. If you don't have any of that stuff, then it's just not gonna work, dude. Like, it's just not. That's why I haven't been bullish on DAOs at all. I really have not. I mean, like, you got it from a social setting. Yeah, like you go and you talk to people about crypto, and that's it. Like, you know, like beyond that, I haven't seen what kind of value they provide, to be honest. Yeah, from like a social standpoint, you know. I think there was something else I was gonna say, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm supposed to be going to another. I definitely want to be going to a. Well, no, I'm going to DevCon. Yeah, so I'm going. Yeah, so we already mentioned in our recent blog post, but me and a couple of engineers, as well as like 2 other people from our partnerships team, will be going to DevCon in Bogota, Colombia. Bogota. Like it's gonna be like one of the biggest, I guess, Ethereum conferences of the year. So that'll be exciting. I'm very excited to go there. Never been to Colombia. But I'm trying to think what But yeah, no. So it'll be fun to go to that, talk to people there, see what's up. Bam, bam, bam. I think like that's definitely what I like the most about this space, though. Is like I feel like the point of DAOs is like they achieve the very same thing that conferences do, just like more frequently. So from that perspective, I like DAOs, you know. But I like meeting different people too, right? It's like it's cool to meet the same homies that you meet at certain events, but it's like you want to meet new people. You want to talk to different sides of the industry, and that's why conferences are so cool. And why, like, if you currently don't have a crypto job and you're looking for a job, I'd highly recommend getting a crypto based one, because like if nothing else, if they send you out to conferences, bro, like it's just like it's an experience, you know. Like, you know, like you definitely, like me going to Bogota, Colombia, like I'm not going to be experiencing Bogota, Colombia, right? I'm going to be going to the conference, let's be honest. But like at the very least, I'm not paying to go, right? I mean, like literally I'm just going to pretty much like be at the booth, talk to people, walk around, rep the RB squad. And I think that's definitely what I like the most about conferences, and definitely what I like the most about DAOs in this case. They all ties back around. Horayo says, I think releasing a token can make or break a project in the long term. Yeah, true. It also depends on when they release it, right? Like, again, if I'm taking, you know, like my crypto hoods thing, for example, to be clear, all that was like, if you guys remember, like I hosted 2 events. No, I think I hosted like 3 actually different events in the city, and it wasn't even really like events. It was literally just meetups. Like we're literally like, I told people, yo, a month from now we're gonna meet up at this spot in the middle of the park, and we're just gonna hang out and talk, right? Like a time or 2, I tried providing pizza and stuff like that. It was a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did it anyways, right? But to me, it's like, okay, what kind of purpose would this project of mine serve, I guess, right? Not even a project, it's just like, I don't know, like brand in a way. To me, it'd just be like a way to just network and meet with people that are into crypto. That's it, you know? So in my mind, I'm like, does this need a token? No, it doesn't. It does not. And the problem too is that like, once you, like I said, once you do get a token involved, it's like your mindset really has to change, if it hasn't already, to like, yeah, like I'm doing this for fun and hanging out and like just, you know, blah blah blah, to like I'm going to provide this value to these people, and I'm gonna work my ass off to do it. In my mind, you know, I'm a person where I hate owing people stuff. So to me, that's why a token in my head, if I were to ever do my own project again, I would never do it. Like there was someone, take this, right? This is crazy. This is insane. I would love to know what you guys think about this. There was someone that, what did they do? They were a content creator, and they were on the phone telling me about like Rally, which is, I guess, is like this project that allows the creators to mint their own token. Like, yeah, like, so like let's say if I did it, I'd have like a Be Fresh token or some shit, right? And you'd be able to buy it, I guess, and you could just speculate on it pretty much. And you can invest in me. That's what it would serve as, like an investment in the creator. Listen, if you're like 20 years into your content creation experience, if you know you're gonna do this shit for the rest of your life so you drop dead, then all right, I guess maybe it makes sense, right? Like, you can make an argument for why it makes sense. But like this girl, I think it was like a year in, and she was saying, yeah, I think, yeah, like I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow, maybe do it. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, let me ask you this: how you realize that if you do that, that token will live forever on the blockchain? You know that, right? It's not like you don't launch a token, allow people to invest into it, knowing that they're doing it based on the growth of your career, and like not think about that previously, prior to that, right? Like, that's why I would never do it, because I'm just like, and again, it's stuff that you think would be obvious, but I guess it's not, bro. Like, it's really not. Like, people don't realize, for better or for worse, on-chain stuff is pretty much forever, especially if it's on the Ethereum blockchain, right? We know that shit's gonna last forever, pretty much. If anything does, frankly. I hope I talked her down from the ledge, though. I never checked to see if she had launched her own token. I hope I did, though, bro, because there's plenty of ways to make money in this world, bro. You don't need to socialize the effort and take people's money to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I realize this video is. Oh, there we go. Flatsmack says every family can now create their own token/currency and use it to pay their kids' allowance and teach them how money works. Interesting. Now, but hold on. But the problem is that you make you make a coin called Family Coin, right? And you only use it between the four of you. And I give it to, say I'm the dad, I give it to the kids. Where are they gonna spend it? You're giving them an allowance of $0 a week. No, it should be like built into like certain tasks, right? Where it's like the more chores they do around the house, the more value it accrues somehow. That'd be funny. I'm not sure if that would work though, bro. I'm not sure if that would work. Damn. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the more I definitely had a lot of capital, I think, back like late last year, right around when I bought my Tesla. I had a lot more money than I do now, right? And I feel like when you feel like you have a lot of money, in my eyes, you tend to be a little bit less risk averse. Because of that, I really hadn't been buying like almost any tokens at all. I was like almost all ETH at the time. Mind you, that was like right after I sold my punk. That's why. So your boy had some change. But in stark contrast from like nowadays, for example, I'm definitely nowhere near broke. Definitely not. But I definitely don't have like as much as I did a year ago, for example, right? But like I find myself holding more tokens today than I did back then. So it's just like a quick thought there about tokens generally. I guess I'm like, I don't know, like I realize as you grow older, like you start to think about life differently and like your money, for example, differently. I think I'm still on the level of like, I don't mind, like if I lose everything tomorrow, like I'd be fine. Maybe it would suck, but like, I'm still on that level, but like I'm wondering at one point will I be like, yo, like I can't lose this. Because I'll be honest with you, like I hate the idea of having a lot of cash because of how inflation is. At the same time, it's it's hard to have like anything else because it's like you don't know how volatile the thing is. That's why I truly think, like in my head, ETH is like the perfect asset to have. Like I would be sitting comfy if literally everything was in ETH. Assuming I had enough of ETH, I had enough ETH though, right? Yeah, that's my thought on it at least. I don't know. I'm not a. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, we're definitely still in a bear market, I guess, right? So by the time the next bull comes, question is when will it be? If it does, right? Let's we can't make too many assumptions here. Cannot make too many assumptions. You never know. Maybe this is it, bro. Maybe the bull is. Maybe that was the bull, right? Maybe the apes being 150 ETH per monkey was the cap. It's hard to beat that, dude. 150 ETH per ape. Yeah. Yo, I don't know if you remember, but I had like 3 mutant apes. I bought like 3 ETH each or some shit, 3 or 4 ETH each, and I sold them at like 6 each. But then they like went up to like 25. Bro, that's crazy. This industry is honestly insane. I was thinking about it this morning too. I was watching Margin Call. I watched Margin Call the other day, and I've seen The Big Short before as well. And like, I mean, it should. I don't know. I guess I like watching those kind of movies because it just reminds me of crypto. The way they just throw money around like it's nothing. But honestly, dude, I think what makes crypto so great is that it truly is an opportunity to make something out of nothing. It really is, and that opportunity is given to everybody. Anybody with a working computer can do it, right? That it's equal opportunity, pretty much in a way. That's why I like crypto so much. I truly do. You know what I mean? Because before this, I mean, like the only way you can make a shit ton of money at the rate you could in crypto is by scamming people, maybe. You know what I mean? Like a level that was doable by everybody, right? Don't get me wrong. I truly understand that it's gambling, that it ruins a lot of people's lives. I get it. But I think the opportunity is still that opportunity still needs to be there, though. I think. I don't know, especially because the hell? I feel like you learn a lot from crypto, just being in the space and like about people, about money, about all that stuff. It's really like a sink or swim kind of space, you know. And yeah, a lot of people do sink. Shout out to those people. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna cut it off here. Damn, we've been live for about like an hour and a half. I know half of it was probably me like cutting out. But we'll see. Maybe I'll catch up with y'all when the merge happens, or maybe beforehand. We never know. And yeah. By the way, if you, okay, here we go. Okay, hold on. I'll talk to. Okay, I'll talk to what Alex said before I go. Play to earn. Play to earn is a good way to get pleb's foot in the crypto door. I do agree, Alex. Especially after the merge happens. I think what people don't understand too, and this affects everybody, whether you're in the alt layer 1s or Ethereum. Once Ethereum does go through the merge, that narrative of like crypto kills the planet and stuff like that will no longer apply. Like NFTs, for example, kill the planet, no longer apply. Right? The only thing at that point that'll be like really bad, I guess, for the planet, you could say, is Bitcoin. But there are no NFTs in Bitcoin, unless you count stacks, but no one counts stacks. So that the gaming narrative by crypto, I think, is going to have a huge push. It really should. And again, that'll include Avalanche, I guess, and any other blockchain. Or Cosmos one or whatever. So we'll see. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how bullish I am on play to earn games. I'm more bullish on games where it's like, I guess it's the same thing, but like you play them, then they're actually fun. And yeah, as a byproduct, maybe you get like a skin or an item or whatever, that can treat it as an NFT. That if you really want to, you can go ahead and sell. That's what I think. But yeah, anyways, yes, thank you, Alex. Bees Irish, Flat Smack, Miles, Ryo. Thank you guys for coming by, watching the stream. I'll definitely try to do it again soon. If you're not already following me, just in case, did I already leave my thing in the chat? I think I have my Twitter link in the description. I'm really active on Twitter. If you guys ever want to talk on there, but we'll see. I'll try to go live again around the merge, around that time, so we can like talk about the repercussions of it. Maybe. Who knows if Ethereum breaks? We can always talk about that too. Hopefully not. But yeah, we'll see. I guess, you know. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Exactly, Flat Smack. Burning the ETH, pumping my bags. No, I'm kidding. See you guys. Peace.